Hi everybody, I'm Preston from PopHorror.com, and today we are going to be looking at Horror Pack. Now, for those of you who don't know what Horror Pack is, it is a monthly subscription where you get sent 4 horror Blu-rays for 25 bucks a month at the most expensive. That's the most expensive price, is 25 bucks a month for 4 horror Blu-rays. And those of you who buy movies like I do, that's a steal. So we're gonna go over what you get with it. We're going to go over the plans and pricing afterwards and how you can go about getting your own horror pack. It's monthly, it's pretty cool. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first horror movie that came with horror pack this month, or well, for January, so yeah, this month, is A Christmas Horror Story. And I had seen this in almost every single Facebook group I am a part of. It's gotten mostly positive reviews, so I was pretty excited about it, right? Like, who doesn't want a new good horror movie that you really haven't heard of? And it's an anthology of that. I love anthologies. One of my favorite horror movies is Trick or Treat, and I loved how the stories just wrapped all together and kind of intertwined. This one is pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It has 4 separate stories going on. You got one with Santa, and his elves are infected with something by someone, we don't know who. You can kind of guess, but they're going crazy. So that's kind of like this horror comedy thing going on where Santa's killing a bunch of his elves. It's pretty fucking crazy. Then you have this family that's going to visit this distant aunt, and that ends up being a Krampus story. And for those of you that haven't seen Krampus, he's kind of like the anti-Santa Claus. Except he looks like a fucking reindeer / demon. He looks like a reindeer demon, if you can picture that. It sounds ridiculous, but I personally would never want to come across him. So you have that one, and then you have these kids who are doing like their own vlog thing, where they're going to investigate their own school because there was a massacre. There was a massacre over there the year before, so they're doing whatever. They're doing what kids shouldn't fucking do because they're bored. That's basically what they're doing. And they get locked in, and it ends up being like a ghost possession thing. And then like one of the coolest stories out of this entire movie is about a changeling. Now, I don't know too much about changelings at all. They're not used very much in horror. And they should be, because it was a pretty suspenseful, creepy, crazy story. I loved that one. And then by the end, you get this crazy, like, Freddy versus Jason fight between Santa Claus and Krampus, and they get to going at it. And then it did what some movies do when they throw in this twist that's completely unnecessary. The movie's already good. You don't need to try to do something crazy by the end of it. And it just kind of, at that point for me, was like, you guys could have just left that whole entire twist out. So, overall, I liked it a lot. I wish the ending was a little bit different, but hey, can't win them all, right? Another one that came was John Carpenter's The Ward. Now, this did not get a lot of traction. Unfairly, I would say. John Carpenter is a very well-known name in horror. It's about this... How do I describe this movie without giving anything away? Because it's just incredibly difficult. It's about this girl who, at the beginning of the film, you see standing in front of a house that's burning down. We're pretty much supposed to assume she set it on fire, and she gets locked up in this mental asylum, and a bunch of crazy stuff starts happening. It is signature John Carpenter. I will give it that 100%. The music score behind it is suspenseful and creepy and terrifying. The filming style reminded me a lot of his Halloween movies, and I love Halloween, so I'm down for that. The only thing that really made me very, very upset with this movie and disappointed was the ending. Now, I brought up adding a twist in the last movie where it's not necessary. This movie could totally use a twist, and it had one. However, that twist that it used has been used previously, almost identically, in another movie. Another well-known movie. So it was almost like plagiarizing the ending of an entirely different movie. See where this can kind of get frustrating for a horror fan? Like, I expect a little bit more from John Carpenter. Now, there's a very good chance that he knew nothing about the other movie. Maybe he just magically came up with it in his head, and if so, congrats to you, great minds think alike, but this has been done before. And that kind of takes away from it for me. To people who have not seen the other movie, which I'm not going to say, because then it's going to give away the ending for this one completely. So I can't do that. But for those who have not seen the other movie, they're probably going to have their minds blown by the end of this. Because my mind was blown by the end of the other movie when I was way younger. So, yeah. Good movie. Come up with a different twist for the ending. Don't steal somebody else's. Alright, now that I'm done ranting about that. The next one was Chrome Skull Laid to Rest 2. The first Laid to Rest is like one of my favorite independent horror movies of all time. I absolutely love that movie. It was one of those that I saw on the shelf 15 million times, never rented it, and finally had no other choice because there was nothing left in the store for me to watch that I hadn't already seen. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and was blown the fuck away. And the great thing about the Laid to Rest series is, number one, it has everything a good slasher needs. Okay, so a good slasher, one, needs an iconic mask. You need one. You need one that we want to look at that looks cool. It sounds trivial, but have you ever watched a slasher movie with a shitty masked killer? It's painful. This guy has a fucking metal skull. Sign me up. So you got that, right? So we have the iconic mask, and you've got to have creative kills. You have to have at least one or two. The other ones, you can totally go for a regular stabbing or strangling. Nobody cares about that. But you need to at least have one or two creative kills. Laid to Rest, every single fucking kill was ridiculous. It was believably but ridiculously gory. It pushed the limits. It did everything that I've ever wanted a slasher movie to do when it came to offing its cast. So you have that. You have to have a good chase scene there. The entire fucking movie is a chase scene. It's basically like Jeepers Creepers meets slasher formula, because they are off in the middle of nowhere and they're running from this guy, and this guy's finding them no matter where they go, because he's a fucking high-tech genius. And you kind of find out a little bit more in the second one of why he's so capable of doing all this, which is what I liked about it, so I'm going to get to that in a second. I know I'm doing this like mini review of the first one and it didn't even come in the horror pack, but it has to be done. So you got the chase scene. You've got to have something, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but it's kind of a gimmick, right? So before Scream 4 came out, they kind of bit Laid to Rest style a little bit. They were biting their style. Because his gimmick is he records every fucking kill. And in Scream 4, that was the new thing, was the killer's got to record and then upload it to the internet, blah, blah, blah. So, kind of stole that. But it was pretty cool. Is it pointless? Kind of. Nobody fucking cares, though. It was amazing. The entire movie was fucking amazing. So, I found out shortly after I'd watched the first one that there was a second one coming out. And I was super down for this. I seen that Danielle Harris was going to be in it. She's like one of my favorite Scream Queens in the history of Scream Queens. Danielle Harris is up there. I think Jamie Lee Curtis when I think of Scream Queen. I think Neve Campbell. I think Danielle Harris. These are people that just pop in your head. When you hear Scream Queen, you think of these specific people on this list, and she's right up there. So when I knew she was going to be in this movie, I was just like, this movie's about to be the best fucking thing ever. And then I found out that the plot is going to take place mostly like in Chrome Skull's lair. And I was like, you're kind of going down this unoriginal format. You had something going. I was down for watching people get chased around the fucking middle of nowhere. I was super down for this. And you know what? It turned out pretty good. It kind of reminds me of Saw a little bit. Saw and The Collector, as far as like booby traps and the lair and just it makes me feel in that kind of zone. So it kind of sort of drops from being a slasher a little bit and more into the gory booby trap genre, sort of, kind of. But it works. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's suspenseful. Go get it. Seriously. Like, I don't know if you can get January's Horror Pack still, but if you can, get it so you can get this movie, because it's pretty awesome. And then, I hope this becomes a thing, right? For this next movie that we're about to do. I hope this becomes a thing with Horror Pack. That they do end up sending a lesser-known good horror film. Because the fourth one is a signed copy of Cell Count. I didn't know anything about this before I received it. At all. Okay? So when I seen this, I was like, ugh, this is gonna be the one I'm gonna have to fucking drag myself through. And I don't want to. At all. And then I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if the one that I'm dreading watching is going to end up being my favorite out of all of them? Guess what? It's pretty fucking funny, because this ended up being my favorite out of all 4 movies. Initially, just off the title, I thought it was a zombie movie. And instead, it kind of turned into this science gone wrong type of deals. Without the zombie after effects. There was no zombie anything. It kind of reminded me of The Thing to an extent. Not in the... It assumes human form and can change and shapeshift and do crazy shit like that. In the sense of, it just kind of had that vibe. You're in this clinical trial and you can't go anywhere, and you're isolated, and all these crazy things are happening, and you don't know why or what or anything about it. It just, this thing is happening. So it kind of made me feel that way. Basically, short synopsis is a husband's wife is dying of this disease that's like plagued the nation, and they don't have a cure for it. And this doctor that is treating his wife says that there's nothing more medically that can really be done for her. However, there's this clinical trial that he can subject her to, and she has a really good chance of living. If he doesn't do it, she's definitely going to die, and all they can do is make her comfortable. So he's like, well, sign me up, because I'm not about to do this. And then he's really sweet, because he decides to get infected with the disease too, so that he can go through the trial with her, so she doesn't have to be alone. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. Overall, great film. So... yeah, that was January's Horror Pack. You get Cell Count. Fucking amazing unknown movie. I'm super happy I have it now. Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2. If you have not seen either of them, I recommend watching both. Make sure you watch them in order. They're not necessarily sequential, so to speak, but the first one's pretty fucking amazing. Got A Christmas Horror Story, a fun anthology that's not the greatest movie in the whole wide world, but it's pretty cool. And another thing about this one, real quick, any one of these stories in here would have been better off just being a whole entire movie. That is another thing that bugged me about it. I wanted so much more from every story that I feel like they should have just made a feature film about each of them and cut the fucking twist out of the end of this, because it irked my soul. And then John Carpenter's The Ward, which was good, but stole the ending. So, those are the movies you got. Pretty cool, high quality movies. I like them. I'm happy I own them now. Now we're going to go over the plans and pricing. And this is crazy to me. So they have like the 1 month plan for those of us that don't want to pay an arm and a leg up front to pay for the whole year. It's $24.99 a month plus tax. It has free shipping. You get the same 4 horror Blu-rays as anybody else. They have a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, and a 6-month plan, and a 12-month plan. And they go up reasonably in price each time, but then like the actual amount of money that you pay is lower than what you would pay if like you did the 1 month plan instead of the 12-month plan. You save like $27 by doing the 12 month and paying $273 up front, but nobody has money for that. Well, I don't. I'm not paying $273. I will pay the $25 a month if that's what I have to do. The 3-month plan, which they say is their most popular, is $72.74 a month. Well, every 3 months. It's a recurring thing, so you have to cancel it. So if you do sign up for it, make sure that you have the money in your account. Otherwise, make sure to go cancel it because that's about to take it out. The February pack is open as of right now. It's pretty cool, so go check it out, horrorpack.com. The link will be in the description. And get your fucking horror movie buying on. Like, who doesn't want to do this? This is amazing. I now have 4 more movies. I'm totally doing this every month. Thank you for watching. Again, I am Preston from PopHorror.com. I do a lot of written reviews, and we just started doing this video review thing. So hit subscribe, tell your friends about it, share it, like it. Let's go. You guys all have a great day. Thank you.